What if I told you that before someone betrays a relationship, the signs are already there? Subtle clues left like breadcrumbs in a forest. The real issue: most people don't see them. They're too in love, too trusting, or simply not looking. But what if you could spot the patterns early, before your heart gets broken? Welcome to an uncomfortable truth, shaped by relationship psychology and grounded in self-awareness. Pay close attention, because what you're about to hear could save you from emotional burnout. And if you're thinking, my partner would never do that, you might want to lean in. You could be starring in this story without even realizing it. Sign 1. Emotional distance creeps in. Stoic philosophy, detachment is strength. But in a relationship, unexpected emotional detachment, that's a red flag. It doesn't happen all at once. It's subtle. First, the warm messages lose their spark. The long, deep conversations shrink to one-word replies. The laughter fades. The smiles become forced. She's physically present, but emotionally distant, like a shadow of the person you once knew. Why? Because emotional investment may have shifted elsewhere, not necessarily physically, but mentally, emotionally. And when that connection begins to grow in another direction, the original relationship starts to feel like a burden. This isn't just a bad day or stress at work. It's a shift in emotional energy. When someone begins to retreat emotionally, it often means they're rationalizing a new narrative, and that narrative doesn't always include you. Sign 2. Her schedule becomes a puzzle. Suddenly, her calendar is packed. Girls' nights, late meetings, solo errands that used to take 30 minutes now stretch into hours. You ask, how was your day? And here, it was fine. No details, just fog. People don't always lie directly. They obscure, they dodge, they make you stop asking. Behavioral psychology shows us that people who are emotionally or physically detaching often create distance with time, without offering clarity. You don't need to accuse, just observe. Time tells truth. As Epictetus said, impressions are not facts, but they often reveal the truth. If something feels off, don't ignore it. Sign 3. Sudden secrecy around the phone. There was a time when her phone was just a device. Now it's practically under lock and key. It's always face down, always silent. She smiles at messages you're not supposed to see. You go near it, and the reaction is instant, defensive, tense. This doesn't always mean cheating, but it does often mean emotional displacement. Digital intimacy can grow faster than we expect, and often crosses lines long before anyone notices. Sometimes it starts as innocent chats, but when those chats become emotional support systems or places, she turns for excitement, validation, or attention. That's when boundaries get blurry. It's not about control. It's about awareness. You don't need to be paranoid, but you do need to be conscious. When the energy changes, when access, affection, or attention shift, it's usually for a reason. What if I told you that before someone walks away from a relationship, they leave clues, tiny shifts in behavior that speak volumes if you're paying attention? As a Stoic, your role isn't to panic. It's not to chase or accuse. It's to observe. Jealousy clouds reason, but clarity, that requires composure. Let's talk about the uncomfortable truth. What happens when someone emotionally detaches long before the goodbye? Sign 4. Gaslighting and rewriting reality. When emotional guilt sets in, the mind can twist things to protect itself. Enter gaslighting, a subtle form of manipulation where the person starts flipping the narrative. Suddenly, you're being told you're the problem, that you're too controlling, too distant, too insecure, even if you've been reacting to real changes in the relationship. This isn't just conflict, it's confusion by design. You begin to question your instincts. That's the danger, because when you no longer trust your gut, it's easier to accept things that shouldn't be acceptable. This isn't about blame, it's about self-awareness. Gaslighting turns your doubts into self-criticism, and that leaves space for unhealthy patterns to continue unchecked. Sign 5. Sudden over-affection or too good to be true. Kindness. This one is confusing. When someone suddenly becomes extra affectionate, more gifts, more attention, more loving gestures, it can feel like things are getting better. But sometimes this is overcorrection. Guilt can cause people to go overboard in order to feel balanced or to maintain a self-image. It's not always intentional, but it can still mask the truth. In psychology, this is called compensatory behavior. It's not about love, it's about trying to ease guilt without addressing the root cause. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The closer a man is to the truth, the clearer he must see through the fog of pleasure." Affection that feels like a performance is worth examining. Is it real change or just a distraction? Sign 6, she ends it first or forces you. To the final shift isn't subtle, it's often explosive. She might say, "I need space," or "maybe we should take a break." But more often than not, this has been coming for a while. The emotional withdrawal happened long before the words were said. Sometimes she creates conflict to push you away. Sometimes she waits for you to end it, so she doesn't have to. Either way, the pattern is the same. Distance followed by disconnection. This isn't about who's the villain. It's about seeing the pattern. When someone wants to leave, they usually already have, emotionally. The Stoic response: you don't beg, you don't bargain, you accept. Let go with grace. Let your silence say what your pain cannot. Why men miss the signs? So why do so many miss these signals? 1. Love filters reality. We see red flags and call them stress, mood swings, or just a phase. 2. Many are taught to suppress suspicion, fearing it's toxic or insecure. 3. Disconnection doesn't look obvious. People still smile, still say, "I love you," still play the role until they no longer can. But Stoicism isn't about paranoia. It's about perception. You're not being asked to distrust. You're being asked to see clearly, to observe. Behavior, not fantasy. Are you looking at what she's actually doing, or who you hope she still is? A wise man recognizes patterns. A Stoic man doesn't chase truth, he lets it reveal itself. And a high-value man doesn't beg to be chosen. He walks away with dignity. If this message opened your eyes, even slightly, do one thing. Like, subscribe. Share this with someone who might be ignoring what they need to see. The truth might hurt, but silence and denial, that can destroy. Stay grounded, stay sharp, stay stoic.